Network is a collection of computers and devices that are connected to enable communication or interconnected devices that share resources and information. Essentially, what we're saying is that we have devices, we have certain things that are coming together to share resources or to exchange information. And essentially, this communication is happening following a certain step by step process. When there's a communication happening within the network or when two devices are communicating with each other, there's a model with which they communicate. There's a model through which these resources or through which data is being exchanged. Now, OSI stands for the Open System Interconnection. Open System Interconnection is a theoretical foundation for understanding how network communication happens. That is, what is happening when I sit down behind my system and I type and compose a message or design a flyer or design a picture and click send and send it to someone at the other end and the person receive it. So what is happening? What are the processes that are happening? This is what the OSI model tries to explain. And for OSI model, we have 7 layers. That means what happens between when I compose a message and send it to someone on the other end. There are 7 layers according to the OSI model. We have another model that is called the TCP/IP protocol, which is the transfer control protocol and internet protocol model. So this model has only four. This model is actually older than the OSI model and it is foundational. It has started long before. All layers in the TCP models are needed for transmission as against the OSI model, whereby some of the 7 layers may not be involved in the process of transmission. Now, OSI model has, I mean, the TCP/IP model has 4 layers, so only 4 layers are involved. The OSI and the TCP models in network communication. So there is a relationship between the OSI and the TCP/IP model. So in the OSI model, we have 7 layers. We have the application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and the physical layer. And the TCP/IP model, we have the application, transport, network, and the physical layer. So the application presentation and session layer of the ASI model are combined into one layer in TCP, which is the application layer. Then we have the transport layer, the network layer, and then the data link and physical layer of the TCP of the OSI model. They are the ones that form the physical layer. Remember, TCP/IP model is older than the OSI, so it means that what was happening in the TCP model was further broken down to extend into 7 layers. Then, if we look at the use cases on the application layer, we have things like your browsers, your Skype, your Messenger, your Gmail, your Adobe Photoshop. These applications are all what you make use of at the application layer. And then we have in the presentation layer, what is happening there? You have view images in a JPEG, in MPEG, in PNG. These are encryptions and formatting ways of changing data or formatting your data. Then it means that the data essentially the data generator are also used in establishing sessions and communications. Now in the transport layer we have things like the TCP and UDP. We have the ports. This is where we have the ports communication. In the network layer we have the thing protocols and things like the ICMP. When we talk about internet protocol, when you talk about IP addressing, when you're talking about pinging, these are things that are happening on the network layer. Then in data link layer, we have the Ethernet, the network interface cards on your system. This is where we have MAC addresses, and then so these are the level of communication that happen on the data link layer. And then the physical layer, we have frame relays. We have things like the Cat5, cables. We have like the fiber optics. We have like your Wi-Fi protocols. These are all happening, and these are the ways in which data, is being made use of. That's why I called it a use case. So data is being used by applications like browsers and Skype, under the application. And then we have the three layers: application, presentation, and session layer. They are all directly having what we call data. So the units are referred to. Data units are referred to as data. Then we have the transport layer. We have what we call the segments. Data are broken down into what we call segments. In network layer, the data is referred to as packets, which is being sent over the internet. Then in data lake layer, we have frames. Frames are being shared over the internet, links, and then in the physical layer we have bits, which is the ones and zeros that you come across.